the 2022 Ford Bronco. This one is a 2022 Ford Bronco Outer Banks. Aloha guys, Joe Tunney, and I'm here at Universal Studios in Los Angeles. And we're taking a look at the 2022 Ford Bronco. We put a couple thousand miles on this one and want to give you the full report on what it's like to live every day with a new Ford Bronco, whether taking it out on the open road or fighting here in a big city type of environment. The Ford Bronco, to me, isn't really a direct competitor of the Jeep Wrangler like you see on a lot of reviews. To me, it's a competitor with the Land Rover Defender, and not just the new Land Rover Defender, but kind of the historic Land Rover Defender or historic Toyota FJ Cruiser. It's a really practical, versatile, well-built sport utility, and one we've had an absolute blast with. But the first thing I want to do is I want to pop the hood and let's take a look underneath there. So a few different ways to get the Ford Bronco. You can either get it with the 4-cylinder engine, that's what this one is, 2.3 liters, or you can get a 6-cylinder that is 2.7 liters. Horsepower, you're going to see a couple of different numbers mentioned here. You'll see that it comes standard with 300 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. That's with premium gas. If you put regular gas in, it's going to adjust automatically down to 275 horsepower, 315 foot-pounds of torque. So give yourself the little bump by going straight to premium gas. If you jump up to the 6-cylinder engine, you're going to get more power, you're going to get more torque as well. But it seems funny, you know, this truck is almost 5,000 pounds, and you would think, God, a 4-cylinder engine, it's got to be just dreadful out on the open road. But the truth is, it actually drives beautifully. If you didn't know what was under the hood, after driving it for 4 or 5 weeks, you absolutely wouldn't know if you were driving a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. It actually drives extremely well. Let's take a look around. So on this one, the Outer Banks, you're going to see 18-inch alloy wheels with dual AT tires. One of the options that you can get on this is a 17-inch beadlock wheel, and it has 35-inch off-road tires. From us, coming from a Toyota FJ Cruiser that had exactly that setup, as far as a daily driver, this is much more drivable. It handles better, it's quieter out on the open road, especially for a convertible vehicle. Everything about it, I think, is better for 99% of your use. Even going off-road, these are going to be really good off-road, unless you're doing some very hardcore stuff. So the sacrifice is your daily livability, your daily drivability with the 17-inch beadlock and 35-inch tires versus just the smoother ride, quieter ride every day with maybe a little less ultimate handling prowess. 0.71 G's though of lateral acceleration on these, and so you're sacrificing a little bit more if you go to the 35s. Now, one thing on these that are really cool is, of course, you can take the top down and you can take the doors off. And so a neat touch on the Bronco is that you can see the rear view mirror is actually mounted in the front of the vehicle, not to the door itself. So if you take the doors off, you still actually have a mirror that works. Now, this is an Outer Banks, so you have fender flares, everything's painted to match as well. And then the top, you know, it's a big convertible top, especially for a 4-door, and so there's a lot of wind buffeting on 4-door convertible tops, and it can be loud inside. Not the case at all in this. Let's take a look inside. So this one's two-tone blue and gray. The colors are pretty muted, and that's actually a good thing, because if you're driving with the top down and the doors off a lot, what you're going to see is this stuff is going to fade over time. It's almost designed with that in mind, and I think as the colors fade over time, it's still going to look nice in its own way as the years go by. One thing that this one does have is the 12-inch monitor on the side here. I'm just going to turn it on. So it has 2 monitors, one in the front and then this one as well with the kicking Bronco right there. The 12-inch monitor here is really nice. I mean, it's really nice. And for us trying to get around here in Los Angeles, it has proven worth its weight in gold. It's really easy to use. It's really easy for us to get from place to place. You can drop it down to see the entire turn-by-turn route that you're going to be taking. The audio works really well. This does not have the Bang & Olufsen stereo system, so it has the standard stereo system, and that is actually really nice. The air conditioning is fabulous. Everything about it is really quite nice. Let's jump in back. So it has that theater style seating that I like so much, where when you're sitting in the back, you're actually sitting taller than the folks up in front. And so you have a picturesque view through the windshield. So it's almost like you're sitting in front. It's really nice, it's comfortable, but it's honestly comfortable for 4 people. If you're going 5, it's not super spacious here in the back, but if you're going 4, yeah, it's nice. Let's jump in the back. Again, on the gas, you're welcome to use regular or premium. You just get a benefit in horsepower if you use the premium. Now, these will tow up to 3,500 pounds, same as the Jeep Wrangler. This one is not set up for trailer tow, but you can see it does have the parking sensors in the rear. It has parking sensors in front as well. 104 total cubic feet of volume inside. 36 of it is back here in the storage space. You actually have quite a lot of storage space. For us coming here from Hawaii, we got all our luggage, all our gear. It fit with room to spare in the back. Come on back inside. Now this Bronco has the 4-cylinder Ecotec, the 2.3 liter, 300 horsepower. Sometimes you'll see that 2 different horsepower measurements are given, 275 horsepower or 300 horsepower, and the difference depends on what kind of gas you step up for. If you just get regular unleaded, it's 275 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, but if you step up to premium, the engine recognizes that and gives you 300 horsepower to go with 325 pound-feet of torque. Now, this is a 10-speed automatic transmission, 4-cylinder car that weighs almost 5,000 pounds with 4-wheel drive. The first reaction is going to be, God, this thing must just have awful acceleration. But the truth is, even with all 4 of us heading off to the Dodgers game inside this truck, it actually is pretty darn responsive. In fact, it's more responsive with the automatic than it is with the manual transmission. If you do get the 7-speed manual transmission, it's going to go from 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds. If you do it with the automatic, it's going to do 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. And that number holds true whether you get the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder. Now, we're up to about 2,000 miles overall on this 2022 Ford Bronco, and this one is averaging 18.9 miles per gallon all around driving. And by all around driving, it's been predominantly city driving here in Los Angeles, going off to the theme parks and the ball games and that sort of thing. So a lot of it's been highway driving, but a little bit of this stop and go variety of highway driving. Comfort wise, for 4 of us, take a look in back. Everybody's got plenty of space. Kids, you all in good shape back there? Yeah, Sebastian's 6'2", so if he's comfortable, everybody's comfortable. It's about 105 cubic feet of interior space overall, over 30 cubic foot of storage space. So if you do bring the whole team and all of your gear, you definitely have enough space inside the 2022 Ford Bronco. Drivability, I'll tell you right now, it drives fantastic. I'm going to say it again and again. I know that this is supposed to be a direct competitor of the Jeep Wrangler, which it is not. It's a million ways smoother than the Wrangler, easier to drive, more comfortable to drive. It's not a throwback to late 60s Ford Broncos, although it's designed to pay homage to those late 60s Ford Broncos. I'm going to tell you that this is absolutely the reincarnation of the 1996 Land Rover Defender. There's just no other way to say it. In fact, this is more of an appropriate evolution of the 96 Defender than even the new Land Rover Defender is. In many ways, this is really the perfect all-around, somewhat luxurious, extremely practical four-road off-road vehicle, or four-wheel drive off-road vehicle that's cool, family-friendly, and is actually a real kick to drive. So two ways to do this. You can either do it with the automatic transmission or with the manual transmission. You can only do that manual transmission in this 4-cylinder model. Manual transmission is a 7-speed, and so that sounds like a lot of gears. It's really a 6-speed plus 1 super low gear, which is really handy if you're doing some heavy off-road stuff. However, those limitations, having to shift through those gears in a 5,000-pound vehicle that doesn't have a ton of torque, means there's a lot of shifting as you're going from 0 to 60, 0 to 70. As a result, 0 to 60 is 8 seconds in the manual transmission, where the 10-speed automatic transmission is only 7 seconds, 0 to 60. And so if I'm getting a 4-cylinder, to be honest with you, I'm going to be looking for the automatic transmission. It gets better gas mileage, it's better performing, it's easier to get around in. You just don't have to think about it. It's just a better transmission overall. I think years from now, as people are looking for these on the used market, I think the manual transmissions are going to be worth their weight in gold, however, because it's going to be the last of the last of a vehicle that can do very, very heavy duty off-road type of stuff with that manual handshaker transmission. I think that's going to be a real coveted feature down the road, but I'm not driving this to sell it down the road. I'm buying this today because I want to drive it today, and I want to drive it for the next 5 years, and I'm going to sell it and I'm going to get something else. And so for that customer, I think the automatic transmission is the way to go. You'll see some packages too, like the Sasquatch package and the Haas package, that have, again, those 35-inch tires on the 17-inch beadlock wheels. In the Haas package, you have an upgraded suspension system above and beyond even what the Sasquatch package has. A lot of these packages, however nice as they are, only come with that automatic transmission. And so if you're looking at a manual, some of the extra stuff that you like are going to be stuff that you're going to be doing on your own dime, and that is not a bad thing. A vehicle like this is designed to be custom tailored. Again, it's a really nice vehicle. It's a very, very comfortable vehicle. I know it's designed to go head to head with the Jeep Wrangler. I know it's designed to be a throwback to the way the Bronco was back in the late 60s, but it really isn't that kind of vehicle at all. It's a vast departure from the Bronco of the late 60s, where a Jeep Wrangler is somewhat similar to Jeeps from days gone by. If I had to compare this vehicle to anything in the world, it would absolutely be the 1996 Land Rover Defender. It is the absolute evolution of one of my favorite vehicles that has ever been made, and I think it's something that if you want to experience really what I think is the single best relatively inexpensive luxury sport utility on the market, I think this is a tough act to follow. I think this is the single best four-wheel drive of the genre on the market today. And if you have any questions, my name's Joe Tunney. You can reach me anytime at joeloveshawaii@gmail.com.